Hello, hello. Welcome to Kramer Just Uncensored. Did I scare you, Hassan? Like Hassan wasn't ready. Hello, hello.
It's like, relax, please.
Ah!
Stop. Ow.
It was a little loud.
Sorry. What's up? Hello, everybody.
Everyone in their car was just like, fuck.
That was really unnecessarily loud. What up? Welcome to Kramer Just Uncensored, the 120th episode of the show. Appreciate you keeping us on for this many episodes. They didn't want this show to happen, but damn it, it happened. It's still happening. Not sure for how long, but for today we're on, so that's cool.
Cryptic, nice.
If you
Healthy.
I mean, pretty soon, every one of your podcasts is going to get replaced by AI, so it doesn't really matter.
Go.
It really is true. And I swear to you, I really do believe that. I don't know that any of us are going to be necessary by the year 2030. We're going to be extinct. Humanity, as we know it, will be extinct.
We love that energy, don't we?
Yes. Yes, we do.
You need to watch our YouTube show, too. If you've never watched before, we do the show live. We're actually way early today, which is good. We do the show on YouTube. You can search Kramer and Jess on YouTube or go to kramerandjess.com. Erica's here this morning. Hi, Erica.
Morning.
Tina's
Hi.
here as well. Thank you guys for checking in the YouTube show. I know we are a little earlier than usual. If you've never listened to the show before, though, you also need to know that's a little bit different than the radio show. How so, Jess?
It's like the close friends feature on Instagram. So we pretty much lay it all out here on the Uncensored podcast, a very uncensored, not for little ears. And we also expect to, what happens in the podcast stays the Uncensored podcast.
It stays right here. Isabel, good morning. And Celia, I know. Sorry, we're early. I apologize. We're just running a little ahead of time, which never happens. Let's just enjoy it, okay? We have a special guest today. Jess, who is who?
My dad, all the way from Stockton, California. It's
Live.
Michael Dwayne Dutra, everybody.
Really? The middle name too?
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how you know you're in trouble.
Sorry.
Wow.
Middle name going here.
Wow. That was usually, in the home use only.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Really?
Since
that-
when?
You're trying to get this man.
No. Have you ever heard anyone call me by my middle name except Apu? She's the only one ever does.
Since it's like a Father's Day themed episode, I thought it would only be right to say the full name.
Okay.
Today.
And this one instance, go right ahead.
That is what you were here to do for today. Jessica, what's our plan with your lovely father on our podcast today?
Well, with Father's Day being on Sunday, we thought we would ask you what was the most frustrating thing about raising me.
And that can go up to today, by the way. It doesn't have to stop at
Yeah, it could be our
High school.
conversation that just took place.
I love how you give me only a couple seconds to think about it, because
Yeah.
if you give me 5 minutes, I gotta find probably a handful of things.
I know. This is like your gut reaction. Like Jess is 30 years, honestly, of being her father.
Being my dad.
What to you has felt like, God, that was probably the most
Frustrating part of like having
phase.
to raise me.
It could be a day, it could be a phase of life that she went through. It really, it's up to you which way you want to take it. But I initially say like the most annoying part.
The
like,
hardest time I gave you.
Yeah. So I immediately, based on the question, I immediately go to your childhood. I was struggling to find anywhere when you were young, like, toddler to infant to young adult, high school. I could not think of something that really stood out until after you left Stockton. There's only one time in your life where you were so frustrating to me. I wanted to come down there and I probably would have shook you like a baby shook you.
Oh yeah.
You drove me crazy.
I'm scared.
So
I know we had some rough years in there, so I'm not sure where you're going with this. So let's hear. Let's hear.
Yes,
the story.
you did.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
We're on the podcast.
This is the podcast.
Yeah,
so,
we're on
Okay.
Uncensored.
so let loose.
Yeah.
Bring the drama.
Yeah, no. So that's probably Jessica. Probably by talking to all our family, all my friends who have kids, boys or girls, Jessica was an absolute exception to the rule. She was never a problem. She didn't throw tantrums like most kids did. She listened to us, listened to me. Whenever I said something, she did. If I deepened my voice, I could make that girl pee when she was a baby, right? She
Healthy,
did everything.
Isn't that
Is that
healthy?
toxic or
Yeah.
She literally had a halo over her head. We could not believe the stories we'd hear from our other family and friends who had kids. We would laugh at them because Jessica didn't do any of those things.
Yeah.
Right. And then she went off and became that young adult to now the big adult she's in. During that phase in San Diego, she met somebody who just, that time of her life, I didn't recognize her. I didn't know.
And what do you, when you say you didn't recognize her, what did you mean?
Well, in a handful of ways. One, it's like she stopped listening, and not that I was not that we dictated her life to her, but she stopped listening to us for guidance, or we could not tell her things. We could not share things with her that we knew from our own experiences would help her, as we always did when she was younger. Right? And she became rebellious, and I'm going to do what I want to do. And that's fine. Everyone goes through that, but not to the extent that Jessica did, because she had never done that with us before. Never to that extent. If nothing else, she would at least hear us out and we'd have a conversation. That wasn't it. It was one way or no way. And at one point it became no way.
So what part when did you notice that first? Do you remember the first time you noticed her being completely rebellious against you guys?
I don't remember the day or time, obviously.
Yeah.
I just remember the time of her life when she was that way, and it was with that individual.
So it had to do with a previous relationship of hers.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Jess, do you remember this? Obviously, you remember this time period. Do
Mm-hmm.
you think? And I'm listening to both sides here. I'm kind of the neutral one in the middle here. Do you feel like you were going through a normal? Because when everyone leaves the house, there's always this weird transition, right? Of like, I need my independence. I need to get out there. Because I even went through the same thing, right? Where anything my parents would say, I'd be like, shut up. You're an old person. What do you know? You know, even though that's my age now, it feels ridiculous, but it's fine. Do you feel like you were overly rebellious during this time period your dad's talking about?
I think it was a normal reaction. I think it was a very dark place for all of us that were involved, but I think it was like a buildup. I think it was. I don't think so. That's fine. I think it was a buildup of a lot of things. You know what I mean?
I thought this was a therapy session, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think it's like being the child that like that always listens and like does what you're supposed to do. I feel like that will ultimately lead into, you know, an outburst at some point.
Sure.
And sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, we obviously are at a point now we can look back and almost laugh at that time, because obviously she's come out of that. We've all come out of that much better as family and individuals and parents and siblings and
Dad, would you say though, would you say that was something that needed to happen in order to?
Are you fucking out of your mind? No.
What happened to our fun, lighthearted Father's Day segment, Jess? What's happening right now?
What father, what parent want that to have to happen?
No, I mean,
that did not have to happen.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, hang on. Remove from the situation. Obviously, not get into too many details. Jess, as a more mature woman than you were back then, are you willing to admit that your father was absolutely right with everything he was saying during that time period?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
I can admit that what everyone was saying, everybody, like parents, family, friends, cousins, distance cousins.
No, that wasn't the question he asked you.
People at
that wasn't the question. That was not the question in front of the court today. The
Mike
question
chose
was
violence this morning, man.
Okay.
He is ready for this conversation for years.
Can I agree that my dad was totally right? 100%.
Okay,
Absolutely.
but
no, but.
Okay, it's just that. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, 100%.
No, I think, and that's a part of it. Like, was it bad? Was it terrible? Was I making mistakes? Absolutely.
Do you feel like it's the same mistakes any kid at your age would have made?
I do,
Okay.
like with the circumstances and everything involved, and I do.
worst time in my life.
Does it? Was it terrible? Absolutely. But like, did that period, a part of that time, make me who I am now? Yeah.
Mike, out of all the hard times you've been through in your whole entire life, where would you rank that on?
With your personal hard times as well.
this podcast is so heavy. I'm sorry. But you said it's the worst. It's like the hardest time of your life. Like, was it truly the hardest time of your life trying to get Jessica through her 20s, basically?
The hardest time with her.
Okay,
The
with her.
The hardest time with her, for sure.
Top 3.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Without question.
So you have $2.
So what's about your face? Oh, yeah.
You had 2 daughters, okay? And so
what the
compare,
you know what, Dad, my dark period of time compared to the lifetime of the other, how does that even compare?
Okay, because Butter is 18 or 19 now.
She's 20.
20.
20.
Damn. Okay.
20.
So
she'll be 21 in October.
Take Butter between the age of birth and 20, and take Jess between the ages of birth and 20. And which one has been more challenging to raise?
Oh, Michaela.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
That feels good.
I don't
So,
think it's fair
Yeah.
that, and that's what
But for different reasons. Different reasons. Mom just stepped into the room. Mom just stepped into the room and was ear hustling.
That's
yes.
not fair.
The whole family. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
you know what I think? Can I just say this though? I think it's a little unfair because I felt like it felt more dramatic because we had never gone through that before. You know
So-
what I'm
so
saying?
Yeah.
you- oh, go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Please. Just calm everybody.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the call was for me, not for your mom.
No, it's fine. Laura, feel free to hop in. We gotta keep this straight. We got two stories, and you're in the middle of all of this. What's your
Right.
take?
Yeah. Go ahead, Ben. What's your take on it? Was it the hardest time for you with her?
Yeah.
Was it the hardest time during that time when Jess was going with numbnuts? Was it the hardest time for you?
Yeah, that was the toughest.
Out of everything in Jess's life, that was the hardest period for
Absolutely.
you.
Yeah, that
Wow.
was the worst.
Yeah. Yeah. Jess,
Only because
really?
just having to sit there and watch it and knowing that no matter what I said or did, it was not going to make. She had to see it herself, and that was really hard because I saw it the minute I met him.
Wow. Okay. First of all, I didn't see it. I hate to say this, not the appropriate time probably to say this.
Hey, Kramer, you weren't the only one.
I
You
like
weren't
the guy.
only one.
Day one, I knew it. I was like, I know what you're about.
Lord, I knew from jump what he was about. But he, and I'm not going to delve too much into that because that's the past.
Yeah, sure,
To your point, I think she, having gone through that, she obviously is a much better, stronger person, and she's become the woman she is now. But yeah, I mean, if I had my choice, would I want her to go through that? Hell no.
God, no.
Hell no.
So circling back.
Really quick.
Circling back, as obviously fatherhood has its ups and downs. Despite the very low lows and a lot of downs. What would you say is the highest point of our relationship?
There's a lot to choose from.
Okay, you only get one. The proudest moment you've had as a father, or maybe your favorite moment as a father so far.
Wow.
Wow. Favorite moment.
Laura's gonna interject.
I think actually, I will say this. I think moment is yet to happen because I can see that moment in my head already. That's going to be next May.
Not the wedding
He's already
talk.
choking up.
Go ahead. Continue. Go ahead.
It's going to be, and your mom will say this. I have been thinking about that moment when I get to dance with you.
Oh, he's choking up.
Go ahead.
No, that will be my favorite moment. I know that. But as of today, there's too many to choose from. Her graduation, her finding, performances growing up, the watching her change to who she is, and her with Gerald. I mean, those are all moments that I treasure because those are all proud moments for me.
We got to where we needed to get. We took a little detour.
That's fine.
We took a detour for a second.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about the father-daughter dance that's going to get you so emotional?
We can't even talk about
we
it.
went real deep.
Yeah. I'm just curious. Obviously, there's a feeling here.
We honestly have not been able to talk about that yet.
You guys can't talk about it.
We haven't talked about it yet. We can't.
You can't talk about it. You haven't talked about it.
No, we haven't because we can't get through it with each other.
And
that's the reason.
Why is that?
Yeah, I think I don't know about I don't know yet why it's going to be the hardest. I see it as a transition to it's me giving her to somebody else. Not that I'm not giving her away in a sense, but there's a moment I think that you realize that you're trusting. Not that I haven't been trusting the last year and a half with Gerald, and I love that I can.
Yeah.
But that's going to be the moment where I finally say, look, take care of her. That's kind of how I see that unfolding. I don't have the right words right now because I haven't thought about it because I won't allow myself to. But that's what's going to happen. That's why.
This segment was not what I expected.
It was not.
It's not. I was expecting something about the one time that Jess dropped a vase when we were trying to get some flowers put together.
It was the hardest time of my life.
Kramer, thanks for calling me about the worst period of my life, buddy. Happy Father's Day,
Happy
everybody.
freaking Father's Day.
Wow. But we brought it back around.
Yeah.
And that felt really
Yeah.
good. And now I think we're all pretty excited for this damn dance. Have you guys decided on a song yet or no? We can't even get there.
No.
We can't even get it.
No.
Any-
Can't even. We
Do you have
can't
any
even.
ideas of what you want it to be at this point?
I can't. I really just don't even know what to say.
Wow. I have a feeling you guys are
Because
both just going to
there's
stand
so-
there and just cry at each other. No one's going to dance. And it's gonna be awkward silence. And we're all going to be like, should we?
Because all of my dad, like all of our favorite songs are just all sad, depressing breakup songs.
Oh God.
So it's gonna be a sad, depressing breakup song, and it's just gonna be me and him crying. And so as long as everyone's on the same page, that we just need that like 3 minutes and 41 seconds,
And then we're good.
we'll be fine.
And then we're solid and we're good to go.
Yeah.
Okay, Jessica, tell your father a very heartfelt happy Father's Day and we'll let him go.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dad, I think.
Who is that? Is that a monkey? Like, what's
My
happening on that
mom.
side? Okay.
I think it's really special to be able now to talk about literally the darkest time in our lives together, as a family, but even just with you and I involved. And I think that's like the thing I appreciate about just parenthood in general is like literally you had to put up with the most toxic, terrible, sad time, and you at any point
We got a meeting coming up.
you never stopped trying,
Uh-huh.
and it's because you're my dad, and I know that you would have never stopped trying no matter what, even if like we were still now and it was still going on to this point, you would have never stopped trying to like get me back to who I'm supposed to be, and I love you for that.
Oh, thank you, Bob. I love you too.
It's very sweet.
I do. I'm very proud of you. So this call started off a little weird.
It started off weird. And it kind of ended a little bit weird,
Yeah.
but like in between,
Yeah.
there's some really good stuff. Okay, like somehow I think we're
Thank
talking
you,
about
Bob.
using Usher's "Nice and Slow" as your first dance. I don't know what you guys are planning on doing.
No,
but-
it basically be "Can You Stand the Rain" by New Edition, or "Back at One" by Brian McKnight. Or something by New Edition. It's gonna be sad and depressing.
Yeah.
We cannot wait. Okay,
Yeah.
Mike, happy Father's Day. Thank you for bringing into the world one of my favorite people on the planet. And same to you, Laura. You also had a say in that. So thank you very much for both of you.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Kramer.
All right, talk to you
Thank you,
later.
Bob.
Love you.
I love you.
That's not what I expected.
Not me interjecting.
Yeah, 100%.
That was the best part. That was the best part.
Don't
of
act
the whole
shocked.
conversation.
Real quick, let me tell you about that time. They're really upset about that, huh? That was
Mhm.
real. That was a real challenge. I
Yeah,
didn't
but
know.
it was a challenge for everybody, though. That's the thing. It's not like, what do you expect?
I don't know. So here's the thing: is my dad. I text my dad. He's been going through chemo. In case you don't know, my dad has prostate cancer. He's been going through chemo. Some days are really bad. Some days are not. I asked him because I wanted to give him the opportunity to do the same kind of thing. He says he's down. I just don't think it's going to be anywhere as like highly emotional as we just went through. So I'm kind of wish my dad would have gone first because I think we're gonna get some wacky story out of my dad, and then it's gonna have no heartfelt emotion behind it.
No, he's literally going to continue talking shit on you about the lawn because he'll never let it go. He'll never let it go.
Okay,
Please
let's-
let that be
wait,
the case because I
wait.
need to hear this story.
Wait. Let's bet. What do you think the story is gonna be?
It's going to be the fucking lawn story because you didn't respect him. And he's never going to let that go.
Not the lawn story.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever heard it. I want to hear from him
Please
the story.
tell me it's not the lawn.
I want to hear
story.
it now.
It is
Okay,
gonna be
all
the
right.
lawn
We're gonna
story.
call my dad. We're gonna call my dad right after this. YouTube, you guys get to see here what we call this is behind the scenes. Wow, that got really. You good?
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you though for not crying.
I know.
Dude, I was crying.
You was dang it, I didn't see it. I was like, I'm so
Crying.
proud that she didn't start.
The dance. I knew the dance
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
It's going to
That
be
was
so
just
bad.
all over
Okay.
the place.
It's going to be bad for us. We're not ready for it.
All right, let's
Kramer, get video.
get my dad on the phone now to see how this is it going to be that story or not. I'm not sure.
Hello,
Hello, everyone.
Steven?
Yeah, you there?
Yeah.
He's live. Everybody, it's Jimmy Mack. Yeah.
Yay.
There we go.
Hey!
Yeah. How about that?
Hi.
Hello.
We
Hello,
are. Wait, what did you say? Hello, fans, or
fans.
are you on speakerphone?
Yeah.
Can you take us off speakerphone for a minute?
How's that?
Yeah, it's much better. Thank you. So we're doing a Father's Day edition of our Uncensored podcast, and we're calling our dads to ask 2 questions. And we'll start with question number 1. And by the way, you're following quite the show after Jess's dad just went in some really heavy stuff. Okay, here's question number 1, which is, what was the hardest? Either it can be time, it could be time period,
or like the most annoying moment raising Steven.
Difficult moments of raising me, and that could be at any point in my whole entire life so far. What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Well, I got so much material.
That's what I worry about.
But it's the same thing I always say, Stephen. So it's the time I'm driving. Huh?
Let him talk. Let him talk. Please continue. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. As I was driving down the street back to my house, and I could see the house, I could see Stephen with the lawnmower out in the front yard.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that he had a radio thing in his ear, and I saw him sort of jiving. You know, most people walk when they cut. He was jiving.
Yeah.
And as I got closer, I noticed my whole yard had been cut to the ground, had been all the way to the ground.
Just
and
ruined.
He was exactly, in the heat of the summer.
Yeah.
And when I got home, I realized we always do that at the end of the previous year, and you're supposed to then raise it up before you start cutting.
Yeah.
So the grass can regrow, right?
Yeah.
For those who've never heard this
Yeah.
story before, this is a pretty consistent theme for those who followed my career for 20 years now.
It took me years to get over that. It took me years.
Dang.
Are you still?
Accepting,
I don't know if you're still over it or not. I don't know if you've really ever officially
No, I'm
gotten
not.
over it. Yeah.
No, I mean, it's still vivid in my mind. As soon as you said that, I said, "Oh my God,
Yes.
don't bring this back up."
Yeah.
Honestly, though, out of all the things that we've been, though, you think that was the hardest? Honestly, the hardest thing. Even it could have been like a time period, but like that's the day that screamed the loudest of like that's what's going to come forward to you, is like that was the hardest part about being the dad.
The hardest thing. Well, I guess the girl sneaking in the basement wasn't that big a deal. I guess that doesn't. Let's see.
Yeah, there was
all those times I had to bring your equipment to your gig, what do you call yourself? I guess you were DJ.
Yeah,
DJ gig.
Yeah.
Drive across town in heavy traffic because you forgot to get your cord or this or that.
So,
I guess that's not a big deal.
It's almost like the lawn thing kind of set the tone of the disrespect.
Oh yeah.
That
well, it happened several times. I mean, on top of that, I was paying $50 to cut my grass back in 30, 40 years.
Which is so insane to me. I still don't understand to this day how he got you to pay him $50. 1, for chores that he should have just done, and 2, to ruin your lawn like that.
Yeah, I didn't want to argue with him anymore, and I thought I had to give him some money.
Yeah.
So the way I would do it is he'd have to feel like he earned it, by doing something.
Yeah.
Get up, get out of the basement and do something.
Yeah.
So I scalped the grass, and I swear to you, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's been times where you've been mad, but I don't think I remember you being any more mad than I did on that day. I'm thinking. I would agree, but I didn't know even like if there was a time period. That like you feel like, wow, that was a really challenging period of your life to be your dad because of
X, I guess when you were doing real bad things, you were keeping them from me, and I never found out.
It's true.
So
it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like a lot of kids go through like a really rebellious phase, Jess, as we've learned. Do you ever feel like I went through like a rebellious phase from you?
Oh, from me? Well, I don't know if the answer is, Steve. I mean, when I was 17, I got locked up in jail for drinking, and so, I mean, you didn't do that.
I didn't.
I don't. You were in one wreck, but it wasn't a big one, right?
Wasn't a big wreck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fender bender.
You didn't rob a bank, as far as I know.
Did you rob a bank?
No.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, Lord have mercy. Like, please tell me that's
no, I wasn't trying to. I'm sorry. Yeah, I wasn't comparing what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of things you could have done, and so I don't remember other than just being lazy. I would call it lazy. You didn't do much.
And that's true. I can only imagine. I was a pretty lazy high school kid, so I can only imagine like if you're the father of this kid, just trying to like. Yeah. I was like not doing well. I did terrible in high school. The only thing I really excelled at was drama. That's the only thing that I did that I really like gave a
Right.
shit about. I was
Yeah.
You did
failing
good
out of
on that.
classes.
Yeah,
Like,
And all he
you
wanted-
did very good at that.
Yeah, all he wanted you to do is just cut the grass.
it's just cut the grass.
Yeah,
I couldn't even do that.
I mean, get up and go out and do that. Now, you know the time that I ended up paying $400 for a router just so that you in the basement could have a way to get to the internet. I thought that was a little much. Here I am trying to work from home. All I needed to get on the internet. And this was what 20, 30 years ago.
This is before home internet was like a thing.
That's so much money.
It was so much.
And so I turned into a computer operator upstairs trying to keep everything running in the house.
Oh
I didn't need to deal with all that when I was trying to work and sell business on the phone. I mean, that sort of pissed me off occasionally.
Yeah, probably also I could just download illegal music and porn was probably like the real objective was.
Was that it?
Probably.
Oh, that makes me feel real good and real smart.
Great. That just that makes it better.
Did you run that cable outside along the house or no? You drilled a hole in the
I think
floor?
we had to drill a hole. Keep in mind, to get internet in your house back in the day, when it comes to like high speed, my dad had to have like a business setup in the house, right?
Oh
A commercial router,
Yeah,
basically.
Then we had to figure out. I was like, I want high speed internet too, so we had to figure out a way to basically use routers, which is not like what it is now. It was high tech. We had it was a whole, and you spent hundreds of dollars.
It took me all day to figure out how to get it to run.
And I screwed up the system. It was bad. It was bad. But that's a very good dad. That was actually really nice of you to be able to like help me set that up. Okay, now let's turn this question the other way. Out of my 40 years of life, what has been like your proudest or most favorite moment? Was it when I cut the grass correctly the next time? No, but like what your favorite moment of being my dad so far? Like what comes to mind immediately?
Well, a couple of things. I mean, your performance on when you were Danny what's his name?
Zuko, Danny Zuko in Greece. Yeah.
That was pretty. I was pretty impressed.
All right,
and I felt honored. And then, of course, when you graduated from college, that was a big deal. I mean, we all but had to keep you down there, had to take you down there and make you stay.
Yeah, you were probably shocked I actually got there. I was shocked I actually graduated, even though I did well in college. I'm shocked that I did. I don't know how in the world we actually got through that, but we did. Yeah, that's a proud moment.
Yeah, that was a big deal. And those are the two main things, I guess. Okay. Although, I mean, your career in radio now has been unbelievable.
Yeah,
so
it's been quite impressive. So all in all, I mean, if you think about the proud moments versus the shitty moments, cutting grass the wrong way one time compared to all that I've accomplished, I feel like.
Well, it wasn't just one time. I think it was just like.
No, it wasn't one time. No, Steven. I'm trying to make it sound good for all your fans. No, you did a terrible job about every time. How about that?
Damn.
I mean. You didn't want to be there, and so that's what I tell everybody. If Steven doesn't want to do something, he's not going to do it.
No,
he's stubborn. And so even though you were out there listening to your radio and your songs, you didn't give a shit about about the grass looking good.
I did not care.
Always wanted a good looking yard. To me, it was important. I didn't have one growing up, and I wanted one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see, what year do you think that was? Like 2002, 2001?
Well, we were over at Clinchfield, that was our second house.
Let's just say the year 2000. I'm trying to see with inflation how much $50 was the equivalent of getting paid $88.31 today to cut the grass.
You stole from your father.
Hey, how about paying me back now that you got a few dollars?
It's true.
There you go.
And I'm a poor old retired guy.
I will come cut your grass correctly one time. How about that?
He'll Venmo you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll
Venmo you back.
No. I've got professional guys now cutting it. No thanks.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Okay. All right. Anybody questions for my dad? Are we good? Everybody good?
Thank you for that.
All right, Jimmy Mac.
I called it, by the way. I knew you were going to say the lawn story.
She just saw that one coming from a mile away. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well,
she knows this now, Steven. I'm sorry. She knows the family and all the issues.
I will tell you most of them. I will tell you that if it wasn't for my father, I would nowhere near, I think, have the perseverance that I have today. My dad literally, and we've kind of used this as a catchphrase on Certified Mama's Boy, which is never give up. But like, this man literally never gives up. And I don't know that I would be where I am professionally if I didn't have my dad behind me. And trust me, Dad, it was annoying as shit as a kid because I just didn't want to engage.
Kept pushing.
Yeah,
I kept pushing.
You did.
I kept demanding excellence, or not excellence, but just get out and go.
Yeah, and just keep going. If something got hard, like he wouldn't let me just quit. He's like, you got to keep going. You got to keep doing it. And now here I am, and like it or not, 20 years in the radio business. So
Pretty successful too. Pretty
yeah,
successful.
I would say so. So I love you. Happy
From
Father.
From Panama City, Florida, at 24
years old. Yep, 24.
To where you are now, up in Baltimore,
Yeah.
and making a few more dollars.
A few more, not many more, but a few more. So
a few more,
Yeah.
a lot more.
all right, Dad.
All right,
I love you. Happy Father's Day.
love you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
See ya. Love
Happy
you.
Father's
Bye-bye.
Day. Love you.
Thank you.
He's so cute. I knew it.
It's just so funny.
I
like,
knew it.
You lazy,
I'm
dramatic.
so lazy. I'm so
Could you
fucking
imagine?
lazy. No.
$50.
80,
a little
like,
shit.
imagine now
Literally.
paying your kid $90.
On
paying your
top
kid
of giving
$90.
you $400 worth of internet, even
Plus
though you're
feeding
not
your
doing
ass.
shit.
Ugh.
Isn't it funny though, like
Crazy
comparing
to
our
me.
our stories?
There's no way. There's no way, dude.
I'm so glad you
Like,
didn't call
what
my
would
father.
your dad do in that situation?
For me,
Yeah, if he was gonna pay you the equivalent of
well,
$90 today.
One, I wouldn't be getting fucking paid, and I didn't get paid to do shit I already should have been doing. Is that? Let's just stop there.
Did y'all got paid, right? Did your parents pay you anything as a kid, Hassan? Y'all didn't get an allowance or anything?
No.
I got an allowance.
How much you get?
200. I mean, I'm sorry, 100 every other week. So $50 a week.
Dude, and I was at least cutting grass.
But I was vacuuming, washing dishes, and cutting grass.
And he probably wasn't fucking talking back and being a lazy
I
ass
was
like
too. Like,
you.
I'll cut it when I cut it, Dad.
No, I wasn't as lazy as him. I'm like, I don't want to do it right now, but I was like, yeah, I probably do it right now because I don't want the sun to beam on my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I had
true.
to get it done.
It's true.
So I always got it done before noon, but I hated it.
So wait, you had no allowance? No.
Well, like if I wanted to go to the movies or something like that, obviously they let me go to the movies, but like I didn't get an allowance. I had to do a ton of shit before I could even leave the house.
Yeah.
All my friends knew, like they knew the whole process and the steps of them coming over, waiting for Jessica to do this, and this before I can fucking leave.
Oh, I didn't have
And-
that problem.
And I couldn't even ask to do shit unless all of the things were done. Bathroom, kitchen, dishwasher,
Then you might
cat
get 10
box,
bucks.
whatever the fuck, and then maybe I'm allowed to go. And if I wouldn't go, then like my friends were cool enough just to stay at my house.
I was a smidge privileged as a child, but at least I worked. To be fair, I did work for the money, so at least it wasn't just given to me. But it was, I mean, the equivalent of $90 to cut the grass.
You
as
did a
kid
shitty
was
job.
I did a bad job.
Poor Jimmy Mac, still pissed.
Celia said, "Hell no, we were poor. You didn't get an allowance either, no type of like money. I don't know. I thought that was just normal, but." All right, happy Father's Day to all of our dads.
Happy Father's Day.
That was a very emotionally roller coaster episode. Jess, you got a lot going on. How do we
Yes.
find you and where?
All my socials and wedding subscription on IG at Just Do It, JESSDUITT.
Hassan,
Hi.
where do we find you?
You can find me at StanWillie2 on all social media platforms.
And I'm that guy Kramer. My podcast is Certified Mama's Boy, or wherever you get your podcast. All right, love you guys. We'll try to be later next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, YouTube. Love y'all. Mwah.